Grandest and Granddad. She got a black abstract. You're locked in once again. And I appreciate you for it. Do me a favor before we get started. Just need a little small favor. Just a little small favor. Uh, I need you to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Listen, Insecure, Season 5, Episode 6, titled Tired, okay? That's my Issa voice. I'm tired, okay? Listen, let's get into it. This season so far has been it's been up and down like a seesaw. It's not really hitting for me this season, but listen, I support anything black, and I'm gonna keep supporting my girls, Issa Rae, Yvonne Orji, my boy Lawrence. I forget his real name, but you know the whole cast, even Amanda Seales, even though I don't like her. But listen, this episode starts off that funny. Let's talk about it. That funny fucking scene. This was trending last night on Twitter before I had even watched the episode, so I was kind of upset about it. But when she tossed that motherfucking baby and kicked Condola in the chest, man, I was crying. Listen, me and my girl watched it. She didn't know about it. She watched it today, dude. She was hollering. I said, "Yo, this is hilarious, dude." She was like, "Can this not be weird, okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I like that." I'm thinking she really went to talk to them. She's like, "Can I hold the baby?" Like, yeah. Fuck that mother. Yo, Issa Rae is fucking hilarious, man. She is funny as hell. I thought that was funny. Kid Cadola, and you hear Lawrence Elijah. Yo, that shit was funny as hell, man. And then to come to find out, it's all just a little daydream of hers. But this episode was just about that, you know, things being weird. You know, you got the cringe factor between Issa and Nathan. You get Issa and Crenshaw, and then Nathan and his coworkers, and I'm like, yo, this is good. And even Molly has some a couple of awkward, cringeworthy moments as well. You know, and we rarely picked up where we left off the season, so I shouldn't have been surprised when I initially believe was Issa's most mature moment this season. Turned out to be the funniest moment so far when she tossed that damn baby. Yeah, that's funny, man. She like the fact that they even cut over and she was laughing like you know, she still got Lawrence on the brain. You know, she see her looking at her phone. She's like, oh, he moved back. And soon as she said that, I said, oh, she gonna get that old thing back. She trying to get that old thing back. And listen, we know Issa and Lawrence is a way better couple than this Lawrence and Nathan bullshit they trying to sell us. It's just not working. I feel like y'all like forcing this on us, and we watching a forced relationship. Lawrence is giving no effort whatsoever. He's not as charismatic as Lawrence, but you don't really realize until at the end of the episode why. And he says, "Yo, you crying in my mouth. You're doing this." And Issa's been super sketchy with this dude for years. So he's just being it back. And she was all upset that he didn't reciprocate or say that, you know, I love you. So they're having sex and he was like, she's like, I love this. I love this. He's like, yeah, I love it too. I love the way you ride me. She's, what else you love? I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, what else you love? He's like, I love. And she hoping he gonna say it back. But we see at the end why, you know, and he's just like, man, I'm just done with LA. Uh, we see Issa's been filling in at the hospital for Molly, you know, taking care of the fam, which is, you know, that's some good friend shit. While Molly actually goes on a work retreat. And I'm like, damn, she went on a work retreat with her mom, but hey, you know, get your mind off of things. You gotta roll with the punches and do what you can. And you know, Issa filled in. That was like I said, that's a good friend. At the resort, we see Molly talking to old boy. I forget his name, the ball headed. He been on like every season. I forget his name, but he's a definitely funny ass dude. In terms of just his character, just being like a stickler. He's just like a fucking like one of them dorky black dudes, but he's super smart, super successful. Shout out to him. And I did not see the romance between him and Molly brewing at first. I'm like, oh, look at this. Like, But maybe that's who she need to be with. Like, dude, maybe she need to get dude a chance. Somebody that's completely and utterly not her type. Because dude is just, they hated each other early on in the seasons, and they wind up kind of just growing on each other and becoming just good coworkers, and he respects her as a colleague, and he tell her to her like it is too. He's like, yeah, I had to carry you and she don't take offense to this. And listen, man, I love Yvonne Orji's character. I love Molly. Didn't like her really last season, but nobody did. But she redeemed herself. She's back to regular Molly. But man, I try to like the big chop, but it's not working for me, man. My one man said she looked like our city hall. I was like, ooh, you ain't right for that, bro. But I didn't say that. He said that, but I'm like, I see what you're talking about. Listen. um, another funny moment, Issa was in a Scrubs like fantasy. She was like a nightmare. She double over gas, and all of us start shaking and crying and throwing up, seeing imaginary Condola at the same food truck. And they get into it, and Condola's got the version of Lawrence she always wanted. She said he make $1 billion a month. His D grew 2 inches. You know that long stroke you like? It's even longer. And then Condola answers Issa's 300 kick from the earlier fantasy with a roundhouse into a nice big pile of trash. I thought that was hilarious as well. I'm like, yo, now they getting into what we love Insecure for. This is what we loved Insecure for. These type of moments, these outer body, they thoughts, Issa in the mirror, like this. We need to see more of this. That's what we need to get back into. We see that Lawrence is having some issues at the barbershop. And listen, when this happened, I told my girl, I said, that's like an unwritten rule for barbers. You never cut another barber's customers. That's unwritten rule. That's like it should be a commandment in the Bible. I feel like, like that's really a real thing. And she didn't really because at first she was like, I don't get it. I was like, no, no. I was saying it before they even happened. I was like, he know damn well he not supposed to do that. And you see how the other barbers looked at him like, mm-mm. You let his customers sit there for as long as I remember. I used to come to the barber and I'd be like, yo, Mark, can you hit? No, he be here in a minute. He be here. I just talked to him. Like, no, you didn't, nigga. I've been texting this nigga all day. He not coming cut me, but it's just a respect thing. Like you can't do nothing like that. You know what I mean? Um, and then we see it blows over, and old boy wants to get over he wants to get over he just doing what he wants to do, and he's like, listen, I bring everybody to the barber shop, I bring all the celebrities, yada yada yada. And they get into it, him and Lawrence, and then uh he just gets on Lawrence about his mental health, which I thought was like a low blow. You know what I'm saying? And Lawrence says something smart to him. He's like, "What the fuck you say? Oh, really? Oh, your bipolar ass and bother." I'm like, dude, that's low, bro. That's a super low blow. Like, and everybody, oh, what's this gang up on me? All right, well, listen, I won't bring none of my celebrities here. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, bro, you corny as hell. And I was like, yo, Lawrence need to just knock him fuck out. Just hit him one good time and punch him in the face, man. But for him to say that is that was super low, man. That was super low to say somebody and play with somebody that obviously got serious mental health issues. I was like, that was kind of corny. Um, but other than that, Molly is at the resort, and her and the coworkers vibing, having a good time. And I was wondering like if it's about to be something awkward, like what's going on here. And it was just successful black people just having a good time. They playing games, first impressions, what they thought of each other, and just fucking, I like it. They all getting along. The company's paying for everything. Uh, Next morning, Molly wakes up. She got a watch in her bed. And she's trying to find out if she let somebody get the punani. But I'm like, yo, she fully dressed. But she goes out, sees the coworkers, and she's like, yeah, I seen a watch in the hallway. It was further away from my room. I'm like, yo, she funny as hell. And then he like, well, that's my watch. And she like, well, did we? He like, no, no, no. And they show her a video, and you see she's kind of embarrassed. But at the same time, ain't nobody taking it literally. We see prior to that, they were in the conference, and Molly and old boy was supposed to head it, and Molly was distracted because she kept getting texts from her brother. She didn't know if it was about her mom, and nobody knows about her mom or what's going on. But her and the guy wind up having a conversation, and he's telling her, his brother had went through cancer treatment, so he knows how it is to be dealing with personal shit while you're working, and they bond and they have a moment and they hug, and I thought that was pretty dope. I'm like, you know what I mean? He was just like, yo, I'm so sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, so you've been dealing with all this the whole time? And he like, yeah. And he was like, man, I'm like, that's dope, man. That's super dope. Cause we always got we always looked at him like he was an asshole, which he was in earlier seasons. But to see him now more like relatable and whatnot, we see Issa and her assistant are trying to grab another group of artists for the next show. They want them to headline, and then they figure out the name of the company is actually related to the Krishan incident, and they decide to hold back and just pass and say, "Oh, we'll call you." And she like, what? Like, what the fuck? And then she goes to visit Krishan with some brownies. And he's just an asshole. And listen, yeah, he was right about the whole situation with Issa. But listen, at the end of the day, Issa was just she works for somebody. She's trying not to lose her position at the company by doing what they're saying. But at the same time, he's like, yo, you should have fought for me. But he got to understand that she's new here. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like she been here and she could just bend the rules. Um, so I get it from both sides of it. But to continue to just be a constant asshole when you're a grown ass man, it's cool. If you feel that way, that's cool. You ain't gotta feel that way. Or you could feel that way, but you don't have to drag another person down or discredit them in order to make yourself feel good. Because at the end of the day, she did give you the look still. You know what I'm saying? Regardless on what was had to be cut out, or you wind up doing your show anyway, but you got the look. She still fought for you because these white folks did not want nothing to do with you at all. They wanted to go a whole different direction, period. And I don't think he's taking that into consideration. So after the end of the day, when Issa and Nathan are back home, or she comes from the food truck, they're talking, and he's just like, man, I had a bad day, and he's just like, man, I'm just done with LA. I mean, man, maybe LA ain't for me. And she's like, well, you don't think it is? Like, what about me or something? Like, and he was like, man, well, there you go, making it all about you. And like I said, for that moment, I'm like, man, he an asshole. But then he laid it all out, and I was just like, okay. And then they didn't make up. They were just sitting there, and like I said, who's a fan of Nathan? Come on, if you're a fan of Nathan, post it in the comments. I need to see what type of person you are, because it's just not. I just don't. His just character just doesn't resonate with who does he. He's light skinned. He definitely don't resonate with me. But it's just nothing there. It's just force. It's just like she just don't want to be alone, so she's just dealing with this dude who's clearly not the one for her. Lawrence might not even be the one for her. So it's just, well, Lawrence is the one for her, but it's just too much. It's too much shit in between. Issa just you need to find somebody else, man. But I don't know, man. We'll see how it working. One of the good positives is mom ended up waking back up. So we see her the video where she's talking to her, or just seeing her. She wasn't really talking or verbalizing anything. But I thought that was pretty dope. I'm like, you know what I mean? But yeah, the Issa and Nathan combat what's the word I'm looking for? Compatibility. Maybe I think I said that correctly. It's just not there. It's not. It's super force. And it's yeah. Taurine, that's his name. Taurine. That's his name. Molly's partner. I'm sorry. I just saw it in my notes. But yeah, when he brought the bag to the door and they were about to kiss or whatever, and they hug, I was he's like, yeah, it's a good mug, yeah, it's a good whiskey bag. I thought I thought that was funny. Yeah. Other than that, I hope I didn't miss anything. It was pretty much a simple episode, but post your comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Tell me your favorite parts of this episode. Insecure, the last season. Till next time, peace.